Good morning, everybody. Lots of interesting stuff has happened since the last video in this series. The Pope has resigned, the sequester has gone into effect. Unfortunately, we won't get to talk about those things until the next video in this series, thanks to the lag between when comments are received at the Herald Mail and when they're finally published. Because of that delay, reading an edition of Mail Call is a bit like looking up at the night sky and realizing that the light from those stars first began its journey thousands of... You know what? I'm not going to compare reading Mail Call to gazing at the night sky. I'm just not. The following calls are taken from editions of Mail Call printed in the Herald Mail from February 18th to March 1st, 2013, which can be read online in their entirety at www.herald-mail.com. First up from Hagerstown. This message is for Governor O'Malley. This is America. I already have a license for a gun. It's called the Second Amendment. Wake up and back off. Gun licensing and registration in Maryland predates the O'Malley administration. And has there been a proposal from Governor O'Malley or anyone else that would take guns out of the hands of responsible licensed gun owners? Because I haven't heard about it. It's you gun owners who are pissing and moaning, saying you feel like you're being treated like criminals. You're the guys who need to wake up and chill out. Responsible gun owners are not the problem. If you are a responsible gun owner and you hear about a proposal that would ban a particular class of firearms, like, say, assault weapons, you shouldn't take that personally. You should recognize that such a ban would be to address a larger problem, a problem that you yourself might not be contributing to at all, but a problem that could be addressed far more effectively if there were more responsible gun owners like yourself who were willing to think and act with an eye toward the common good and not just your own narrow interests. You shouldn't feel like a criminal. But if you're more worried about your ability to purchase a particular gun in the future than about dealing with the problem of gun violence in this country, maybe you should feel like an asshole. I'm not a Redskins fan, but you've got to be kidding me. Now they're debating again on whether they should change the name of the Washington Redskins. It's derogatory to some people. Well, there's plenty of names and words out there derogatory to people. The Washington Redskins always were the Washington Redskins. It's ridiculous to change it now because of political correctness. Just my opinion. Hagerstown. It doesn't exactly keep me up at night, but I wouldn't mind seeing the name changed from the Redskins. But of course that's not going to happen anytime soon. Although I think if we want it to happen, we could take a lesson from Congress in this case, specifically the sequester. We need to make things worse before enough people get off their asses and work to make things better. So here's what we do. First, we change the name from Redskins to something way, way more offensive, like the Featherheads or the Hatchet Packers. And then we use the outrage provoked by that name to change it to something that isn't offensive to anyone, like, say, the Washington Bullets. Nobody can take God out of the schools. God is everywhere. You can take God with you everywhere you go. You can pray and talk to God anytime you want. Hagerstown. So God is like a smartphone with a wireless headset. What's God's data plan like? Governor O'Malley is wanting to do away with the death penalty. Well, that's just like saying go ahead and kill somebody because we'll put you in bed, feed you 3 meals a day, and keep you the rest of your life. He's probably never lost a loved one by someone killing them, or he would want the death penalty instated. And that's the only way you're going to stop these... Hagerstown. Kind of just trails off at the end there. Couldn't think of an ending. No, I can relate. Have you ever considered writing for Saturday Night Live? Look, if prison is so great, and if the only reason not to kill somebody is the threat of the death penalty, why not just move to a state that doesn't have a death penalty, kill a few people, and enjoy your nice bed and 3 meals a day? I have a question. Today's paper is February 15 on a Friday. It's about the death penalty. I have a question. If you're a high-ranking official and a member of your family got killed, how would you feel about the death penalty? I mean, pro or con. You know it would affect your family. And then how would you feel if somebody, you know? Does it matter where you're rank or personal? Hagerstown. I don't think that question, if I understood it, has any relevance to the issue. Whether I'm a high-ranking official or not, of course, if someone I love is murdered, I'm going to feel very strongly toward the person that murdered them. I'm going to want to see that person punished and perhaps made to suffer or even killed. That's not the issue. The issue is whether or not my desire to see the murderer of my loved one die overrides the right of the murderer to live. And I don't think it does. And I'm saying that now, when I'm not in the throes of grief and rage following the murder of a loved one, when I'm still capable of a rational response to the question. This being President's Day and all, I got a little tidbit for everybody. My wife's great-great-great aunt was Mary Todd Lincoln, so she's got the Lincoln blood through her. Fascinating, isn't it? She's related to the Todds, Hagerstown. Hey everybody, did you hear that? The wife of some anonymous guy in Hagerstown is the great-great-great niece of Mary Todd Lincoln. You know, not to let the air out of this guy's balloon, I mean, wife related to Mary Todd, whoopee, but it just so happens that I am related to both Y chromosomal Adam and mitochondrial Eve. So, you know. This is on Boy Scouts. I hope the Boy Scouts of America keeps the ban on gays. I think that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, the federal government's got this country messed up now. The state's got the states all messed up. County's got the county messed up. The city's got all the cities messed up. So this is to the Boy Scouts of America. Keep the ban on gays. This is the United States of America. It's time to take our freedom and our rights back. But the gays, the illegals, and all the tax increases, they got to go. Hagerstown. Yeah, it's time to take our rights back. Like the right to keep people we don't like from having rights. You know, I love that this asshole apparently thinks that things are so terrible that the only thing he has left to cling to is the inability of gay people to join the Boy Scouts. Like, when that goes, everything for which our forebears have sacrificed and shed precious blood is gone. I have a two-pronged discussion here. Number one, we've had 2 stabbings in the city of Hagerstown this past weekend. Do they plan on taking all the knives from the people now that they're hollering about gun control? Number 2, in the state of Illinois, President Obama's home state, they lead the nation in murders, and they have gun control there. So what does that tell you? That's all I've got to say. Hagerstown. On point number 1, imagine you're a cop being called to respond to the scene of a shopping mall where there's a madman roaming around attacking people. Would you rather hear from your dispatcher that the madman is armed with a knife or a gun? On point number 2, here in Maryland, our state police maintains a database of all handgun transactions. But Maryland residents are also allowed by law to purchase firearms in neighboring states. For instance, West Virginia, which has no state firearms licensing or registration whatsoever. So the limitations of gun control at the state level should be readily apparent. I hope. And finally, from Hagerstown, I am concerned about Barack Obama's Affordable Care Act, which will take effect next January. There is no private insurance that is cheap, and the only other option that the Affordable Care Act affords is Medicaid. And if one takes Medicaid out and uses it, then the state government will come after your possessions after you pass away in order to recoup their losses. We live in the United States in the year 2013, and there is still such a thing as getting sicker or older than you can afford. Isn't that really the problem? What difference does it make whether the state government or some private collection agency plunders your estate? Actually, I take that back. There is a difference. At least the state waits until after you're dead. Thanks for watching.